Hey everyone, Jack here. Welcome back. Today we're talking about uh, something a lot of English learners struggle with,
Mm-hmm.
and that is thinking and speaking in English fluently.
Yes, definitely.
And joining me today to help us break this down is Elena, a language learning specialist.
Hi, everyone.
Now, you know, I think we've all been there, right? Where you're trying to speak English, but you get stuck
Right.
because you're translating everything in your head first.
Yeah, that's like you hit a wall.
Yeah, and it really slows you down.
Yeah, it really does. And a lot of people think that fluency just means knowing a lot of words,
Right.
but it's more than that. It's
Yeah.
really about training your brain to think in English.
So how do we do that? How do we actually start thinking in English?
Well, one way is to start small.
Okay.
So, think about the everyday objects you see around you.
Okay.
And instead of thinking of their name in your native language,
Yeah.
you can try labeling them in English.
So like if I wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
I could think alarm clock.
Slippers, things like that.
Yes, exactly. Make English a part of your daily life.
Okay.
And eventually it'll become more natural.
And speaking of making it natural,
Yeah.
what about using our imagination to help us learn new words?
Oh, that's a great idea.
I've heard about this idea of word pictures.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so word pictures are basically creating a picture in your mind
Okay.
to help you remember new words. So let's say you're learning the word tissue.
Okay.
Now, instead of just memorizing the word, try picturing a box of tissues.
Okay, so like the box, the
So you
shape,
pick a color.
the color.
Yeah, what do you see?
Okay, I see like a rectangle,
Yes.
probably blue, made of cardboard.
Yeah, perfect.
And I also think about, blowing my nose, having a
Exactly.
cold, being sick.
Yes, and you're already expanding your vocabulary
Yeah.
and making connections between all these words.
So it's not just learning the definitions,
Yeah.
like understanding how that word is used.
Exactly, yeah.
Huh.
In different situations.
Yeah, you're building a network of ideas.
Okay, so far we've talked about different ways to think in English.
Yes.
But what about actually speaking it out loud?
Yes, speaking is so important
Okay.
because it helps you to connect thinking and communicating.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to talk to yourself in English.
I used to practice speaking English with my cat.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if he understood me or not, but
Wow.
they helped me get comfortable.
Yeah. Any opportunity to speak is a good opportunity.
Right?
So you can talk to your pet.
Yeah.
You can talk to yourself in the mirror. You
Yeah.
can even record yourself speaking.
What if I'm nervous or scared to make mistakes?
It's totally normal to feel that way,
Okay.
but it's important to remember that mistakes are part of the learning process.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to make mistakes.
All right. So just embrace the mistakes
Exactly.
and learn from them.
Yeah, the more you practice, the better you'll get.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
It's not about being perfect.
right.
It's about making progress.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about progress. Yeah.
So we talked about thinking in English,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about speaking it out loud.
Yeah.
Are there any other tips or techniques that can help us on this journey?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Learning common English phrases can really help you to become more fluent.
Okay, so phrases instead of individual words.
Yes, exactly, because phrases are like chunks of language that you can use in many different situations.
So it's like having a shortcut.
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of having to translate every single word,
Yeah.
I can just use a phrase
Exactly.
that I've already memorized.
Yeah. So, for example, if you're at a coffee shop
Okay.
and you want to order a coffee,
Yeah.
instead of trying to say, I would like to have a cup of coffee, please.
Right, which is long and complicated.
Yeah, you can just say, I'll have a coffee, please.
That's much easier.
Yeah, it's much simpler and it sounds more natural.
It does. It reminds me of
Yeah.
when I was learning English. I
Uh-huh.
I learned the phrase, "You got mud on your face,"
Oh.
from the Queen song.
Yeah, yes.
We will rock you.
That's great.
So, music can be a fun way
Yes, absolutely.
to learn new phrases.
Yes, music is a great way to learn English.
Okay, so we talked about phrases.
Yeah.
And of course, pronunciation is also very important.
Yes, pronunciation is very important.
So what are your thoughts on that? What tips do you have?
Well, there's a technique called shadowing.
Shadowing.
Yes, have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, yeah. I'm not really sure what it is, though.
Okay, so shadowing is basically you listen to a native speaker
Okay.
and you try to copy their pronunciation.
So I'm copying
Everything, yes.
their pronunciation.
Their tone, their rhythm, everything.
So it's like
You're an actor.
I'm becoming an actor.
Yeah.
Okay. You're copying everything they do.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. And you can shadow
Oh.
movies, songs,
Oh, okay.
podcasts, anything you like.
So I'm really focusing on how they say the words. Yes.
Exactly.
And the sounds that they make.
Yes. And the more you practice, the more natural you will sound.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, immersion is also really important.
Yes. Immersion is key.
Right.
Yes. It's all about surrounding yourself with the language.
Okay, so how can we do that?
So you can read books.
Okay.
You can watch movies.
Yeah.
Listen to music.
Uh-huh.
Even change the language on your phone to English.
I actually love watching TV shows in English.
That's a great way to do it.
Yeah. It doesn't even feel like I'm studying.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
you're learning naturally.
I'm just enjoying the show.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think for a lot of learners,
Yeah.
they get nervous about actually speaking with native speakers.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, because it's a little scary.
It can be intimidating,
Yeah.
but it's so important.
So how do you recommend people find speaking partners?
Well, you can join a language exchange online.
Okay.
You can find a local meetup group.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can even just try talking to people in your community
Oh, okay.
who speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are lots of ways to find people to practice with.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's important to remember, I guess, that thinking in English is a process.
Yes, it's a journey.
It's not something that happens overnight.
Exactly. It takes time and effort.
It's about consistency.
Yes. And patience.
And patience, yeah.
Don't give up.
Don't give up, right?
Yeah.
And it's also important to, you know, reflect on your progress.
Yes, reflecting is so important. You need to see how far you've come
Right.
and think about what you need to work on.
So, like, what would you recommend for reflection?
Well, you could keep a journal.
Okay.
You could write down what you learned that day.
Okay.
Or you could record yourself speaking.
I like the idea of journaling.
Yeah.
It's like a...
It's like a diary
Yeah.
for your language learning.
You can look back and see how much you've improved.
Exactly.
And then what about setting goals?
Yes, goals are important.
Oh, they give you something to work towards.
Okay.
So try setting small, achievable goals.
Okay, so like what would be an example of that?
Well, maybe your goal is to learn 5 new words this week.
Okay.
Or maybe it's to have a short conversation with a native speaker.
So just something small that I can actually achieve.
Exactly.
Okay.
Don't try to do too much at once.
Take it one step at a time.
Yes, one step at a time, small steps. Yeah.
And it's also important to remember that you're not alone in this journey.
That's so true.
There's a whole community of English learners who are going through the same thing.
Yes, we're all learning together.
So you can support each other.
Absolutely.
You can share your experience.
Yes, and learn from each other.
It's really inspiring to think about that.
It is.
That there are so many people around the world who are all working towards this goal
Yeah, it's amazing.
of learning English.
It is.
So keep practicing.
Keep practicing.
Stay curious.
Yes.
And don't give up on your dream of thinking and speaking English fluently.
Yes, you can do it.
Well, Elena, this has been a fantastic conversation.
It has.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It was my pleasure.
And for giving us all these helpful tips.
You're welcome.
And to all our listeners out there, keep up the great work.
Yeah, keep going.
Remember that every step you take
Mm-hmm.
brings you closer to fluency.
Absolutely.
So enjoy the journey.
Yes, enjoy the process.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.